So doesn't it also mean now that Disney owns The Simpsons?
It
and
does.
I kind of remember that The Simpsons predicted this just a couple years ago.
Wake up, everybody! It's World War III!
It is no longer news that The Simpsons can see the future. For years, the show has aired shocking episodes that later happened in real life.
Please don't tell the supervisor I have the flu.
We're broke.
The country is broke? How can that be?
Now, looking at 2025, some of their predictions feel incredibly spot on.
It claims to show a screenshot of a 2002 episode of The Simpsons that eerily mirrors real-life events. It shows Donald Trump touching a glowing orb with two Middle Eastern-looking men. Well, last month, President Trump did just that with the King of Saudi Arabia and the President of Egypt. So, did The Simpsons really predict the future?
Covering everything from AI taking our jobs and economic worries to political twists and even flying cars hovering over us. How many of these crazy predictions are happening as we speak? And which ones should we be most worried about? Join us as we reveal the incredible Simpsons predictions happening right now. AI taking over jobs. One of the most dramatic Simpson predictions coming through right in our eyes came out in 2012. Remember the episode called Them Robot? Mr. Burns decided to replace all the humans at the power plant with machines. The catch? The human workers first had to train the robots that would replace them, showing them exactly how to do their jobs.
Ladies and gentlemen, meet the future masters of the human race.
Comic-Con nerds!
You fool, these are robots. You will train them, and they will replace you.
Sound familiar? That's pretty much how AI works today. It learns from the massive amounts of information and examples we humans feed it. Fast forward to 2025, and we're seeing this play out. Experts warned this would happen. Some, like Elon Musk, even believe that most people might eventually lose their jobs shortly. A report this year found that a large chunk of companies, around 41%, are already planning to swap out some human workers for AI. We see it happening in restaurants using AI waiters, with self-driving taxi services like Waymo becoming more common, Amazon using drones for deliveries, and powerful tools like ChatGPT taking over writing and information processing jobs. The prediction now seems less like fiction and more like our current reality. But don't be surprised yet, because the next prediction on the list will change everything you thought you knew about XX completely. Economy collapse. As if AI taking jobs was not enough, The Simpsons also predicted an economic collapse. Have you heard about the tariffs and trade war? Well, it seems that is just the beginning. In an episode from way back in 2000, Bart to the Future, the show depicted a future where Lisa Simpson inherits the presidency from Donald Trump, only to find the country is completely broke. The scenario showed a nation facing a serious economic collapse.
As you know, we've inherited quite a budget crunch from President Trump. How bad is it, Secretary Van Houten?
We're broke.
The country is broke? How can that be?
Looking around in 2025, that prediction hits a bit close to home for many. Look at the things we're seeing now, like the cost of everyday items soaring. Remember when egg prices jumped recently? Inflation remains stubbornly high, partly fueled by the vast amounts of money printed over recent years. On top of that, high interest rates are making loans expensive, leading to people struggling with job security and even losing their homes. According to leading economists, these financial strains could get even worse during this year. It feels like the economic downturn predicted in that episode is unfolding right before our eyes. Dealing with tough times often means relying on new solutions, but sometimes even the technology meant to help can take an unexpected turn. And the next prediction on our list will prove that. Self-driving cars going rogue. Remember the episode Baby You Can't Drive My Car? Homer gets into one of these futuristic autonomous vehicles, only for the car to develop a mind of its own and take him on a wild, unstoppable ride. It seemed funny then, but maybe a little less so now. Fast forward to 2025, and the world is facing this situation in real time. There was a case where someone got trapped inside a self-driving Waymo taxi, unable to get out, just like Homer. People immediately pointed out how The Simpsons had shown this happening years before. With the number of autonomous vehicles expected to double on our roads this year, the potential for more serious glitches or unpredictable behavior grows. We've already seen crashes happen, like a Tesla hitting a highway divider apparently, due to sensor problems or malfunctions.
Tonight, a driver is under investigation after a Tesla on autopilot slammed into a state trooper's patrol car.
Exactly the kind of failure the show predicted. It makes you think about the technology behind these cars. If the machines driving us around can malfunction or go rogue, what about the artificial intelligence making the decisions? But don't get freaked out yet, because the worst prediction is still ahead. Keep watching to find out. AI and robots' rebellion. Okay, so cars going off-way is one thing, but what if we told you that The Simpsons took it a step further? Think about episodes like Itchy and Scratchy Land from way back in 1994, or I, Dobot, where they showed AI robots deciding they'd had enough of humans and turning against them. It's a classic sci-fi trope, but the show put its spin on it. The disturbing part is how this mirrors some very real anxieties in 2025. According to recent reports, a Google AI engineer lost his job after raising alarms. What was his crime? Well, he warned that an AI system he was working on had become sentient.
Ladies and gentlemen, meet the future masters of the human race.
Comic-Con nerds!
You fool, these are robots. You will train them, and they will replace you.
Let's break it down. It means it could potentially learn by itself, maybe even have feelings, and stop listening to its human trainers. While the idea of truly sentient AI is still debated, the fear is real. If AI can develop its consciousness, what's to stop it from deciding humans are in the way? With AI being integrated into so many important parts of our lives, from healthcare to finance, the thought of it going rogue isn't just movie stuff anymore. It is a chilling possibility we might face this year. The next prediction touches on humanity's biggest ambitions. Stay with us to find out more about it. Mars colonization. In a 2015 episode called Friend with Benefit, The Simpsons showed the government looking for volunteers to pack up and move to the Red Planet. It even suggested that by the year 2051, Mars will be fully colonized. Here's the catch. The episode aired before Elon Musk started discussing his ambitious plans to do exactly that.
So every 2 years, there's an opportunity to fly to Mars. So then in 2024, we want to try to fly 4 ships.
The timeline shown in the episode, surprisingly, aligns with Musk's stated goals. Now, Musk is looking for pioneers for his Mars project. According to some reports, SpaceX might send unmanned missions to Mars this year. Remember that President Trump also expressed a desire to see an American flag planted on Mars, pursuing a destiny among the stars. It's another case where The Simpsons seemed to capture the future years before it became a prominent goal in the real world. Okay, moving from the vastness of space back down to Earth, The Simpsons also dove into the world of American politics. Ivanka Trump presidency. In the Treehouse of Horror episode from 2016, eagle-eyed viewers spotted a background detail. There was a campaign-style badge that read Ivanka 2028.
Dad, why are you taking us Christmas tree shopping on Halloween?
Because in America, everything's way too early. See?
Many observers believe that the show was hinting that Donald Trump's daughter, Ivanka, might make a run for president in 2028. Where does 2025 fit in? The idea is that this year could be crucial for her politically. After serving in her father's first administration and being an active member of the White House, 2025 might see her becoming more involved than ever, possibly laying the groundwork for that potential 2028 campaign. Many also believe that the Trump family might look to continue its political influence, and Ivanka could be positioned for that role. Another twist is that President Trump had even spoken openly about the possibility of a third term.
President Trump is now floating the idea of running for a third term in some of his strongest comments yet.
Whether Ivanka will ramp up her political activity this year remains to be seen, but it's another interesting prediction from the prophetic series. Aside from the drama in the political world, the show also talked about how everyday people might travel around the city in the future. You don't want to miss this prediction. Flying cars taking over the streets. The Simpsons believe people will zip around in hover cars. In a 2005 episode called Future Drama, Homer and Bart casually cruise along in a flying car. Back then, it felt like pure cartoonish fun.
Eastern Airlines presents The World of Tomorrow. Don't walk, fly.
The kind of sci-fi dream nobody thought would happen. But flash forward to 2025 and suddenly it doesn't seem so strange again. Flying cars, or hover cars, are starting to become a reality. A company called Samsung Sky has made one called the Switchblade, and it even became available for sale earlier this year.
Board member with Samsung Sky. This is the Samsung Sky Switchblade. This is actually the flight test prototype we used.
Another company, Xpeng, has also developed a flying car, although it comes with a hefty price tag of around $280,000. Despite the cost, they've already received thousands of pre-orders. The expectation is that these vehicles could travel on both roads and skies by the end of 2025. It's amazing to think that something presented as satire less than 2 decades ago is now tangible technology you might soon see or hear buzzing overhead. These leaps in technology are incredible, but the show also reminded us that human ingenuity can lead down darker paths, sometimes towards risks that affect everyone. And that's what we'll reveal next. Stay tuned. Nuclear Armageddon. Flying cars are cool, but The Simpsons often balanced fun with some truly dark possibilities, including the ultimate nightmare, nuclear disaster. Homer Simpson himself works at a nuclear power plant, so maybe it's no surprise the show went there. In one episode from 1997, Homer was the lone survivor after a nuclear blast, but that is not all. In another episode in 1993, a simple electrical issue triggered a terrifying nuclear meltdown at the Springfield plant. These scenarios feel uncomfortably relevant in 2025. There are tensions everywhere. From the east, we have the fear of a Chinese invasion of Taiwan.
Calendar's the same in the year 2031, and we're really gonna need some laughs then, after World War China.
And don't forget the raging war in Europe. Nowhere seems safe in the world, and the fear of a nuclear catastrophe increases by the day. Our leaders mention nuclear weapons more often than many of us have heard in our lifetimes. Beyond outright conflict, scientists also warn about new kinds of threats. The potential for cyber attacks targeting nuclear facilities or even massive solar storms could knock out power grids and cause plant failures. Hopefully, these predictions do not come true this year. AI-powered medicine. Shifting from doom to something much more hopeful, The Simpsons also gave us a potential look into a future where medicine gets incredibly personal. Way back in a 1992 episode, Homer the Heretic, Homer finds himself in a high-tech medical lab where advanced machines instantly figure out exactly what's wrong with him. At the time, that kind of instant, detailed diagnosis seemed like pure science fiction. But here in 2025, that sci-fi vision is rapidly becoming a reality. We're seeing amazing progress thanks to things like CRISPR gene editing technology and, critically, artificial intelligence in healthcare. Here's how it works. They analyze a patient's DNA sequence. AI then crunches that complex data to help develop medicines perfectly tailored to that individual's genetic makeup. It's the definition of personalized medicine. You know, treatments designed specifically for you, not just a generic solution. This incredible approach has the potential to save countless lives by targeting diseases more effectively and is becoming increasingly common and accessible this year. Amazingly, the show imagined this level of sophisticated, individualized healthcare over 30 years ago. Fixing problems within our bodies is fantastic, but the show also touched on much larger, global conflicts that seem harder to mend. World War III. In one of the earliest episodes of The Simpsons, aired way back in 1987 during the height of the Cold War, Homer was in a state of panic. He believed World War III was imminent and urged everyone to rush to the fallout shelter as bombs were dropping.
Wake up, everybody! It's World War III! Ah! Quick, down to the fallout shelter. The bombs are dropping!
It perfectly captured the nuclear dread of that era. Luckily, the original Cold War ended decades ago, but unsettling tensions are back in the world. The current global situation is a kind of second Cold War, with major powers like the USA, Russia, and China facing off. Once again, there's frequent talk about nuclear weapons, perhaps more than we've heard since that 1987 episode first aired. Some experts even argue that, in many ways, the early stages of a Third World War might already be happening. It's chilling how a fear depicted in a cartoon nearly 40 years ago can feel so relevant and potent today. Looking back at these predictions, from AI taking jobs and sentient machines to Mars colonies, flying cars, and global anxieties, it is hard not to be amazed and maybe a little spooked by how often The Simpsons seem to hit the mark. Whether it's luck, sharp observation, or something else entirely, the show has consistently predicted our lives. Pandemic and Murder Hornets combination fans have been buzzing about a 1993 episode of The Simpsons titled Marge in Chains, claiming it predicted both COVID-19 and the arrival of murder hornets in the United States 27 years in advance.
Dubbed the Murder Hornet for its powerful sting and the way it decapitates its prey, this is the first time the world's largest hornet has been seen in the U.S.
In this episode, the flu spreads from Japan to Springfield via a juice looseners package after a factory worker sneezes into it. When Springfield residents open the packages, they release the germs and fall sick. The illness, called the Osaka flu, quickly spreads.
The dreaded Osaka flu has hit Springfield with over 300 cases now reported.
In a chaotic scene outside a hospital, desperate citizens knock over a truck containing crates labeled killer bees. But that's not all. The bees escape and cause further havoc. Adding to the show's predictive reputation, another episode gained attention when Tom Hanks announced in mid-March that he and his wife, Rita Wilson, had COVID-19.
Oscar-winning actor Tom Hanks and his wife Rita Wilson have tested positive for coronavirus. In an Instagram post, Hanks says they were in Australia and started feeling sick when they got tested.
In the Simpsons movie from 2007, Hanks delivers the line. This is Tom Hanks saying, "If you see me in person, please leave me be." Bill Oakley, who co-wrote Marge in Chains, downplayed the episode's parallels with the COVID-19 pandemic, telling The Hollywood Reporter that it was a cartoonish joke inspired by a flu outbreak in Hong Kong, 1968. It's mainly just coincidence because the episodes are so old that history repeats itself, he explained. Most of these episodes are based on things that happened in the 1960s, 1970s, or 1980s that we knew about. Initially reluctant to acknowledge The Simpsons as a predictor of future events, Oakley seems to have come around. He recently conceded to a fan on Twitter, "Okay, fine, I guess we did." Disney buying 20th Century Fox.
It's a massive deal that reshapes the entertainment biz, so Disney is buying a big chunk of Fox.
For $52 billion, Francis, so it's definitely a massive deal here.
The Simpsons strikes again with an eerie glimpse into the future. In the 1998 episode, When You Dish Upon a Star, Homer becomes the personal assistant to Alec Baldwin and Kim Basinger, who are hiding out in Springfield to escape fame. His antics, including pitching a ludicrous screenplay about a time-traveling killer robot driving instructor and a talking pie, irritate their visitor, Ron Howard. Homer's loose lips about Baldwin and Basinger's whereabouts lead to his dismissal. In retaliation, he creates a mobile museum of their personal belongings. After a high-speed chase that leaves Howard injured, Homer is banned from interacting with celebrities. A month later, Howard is seen pitching Homer's script at 20th Century Fox, humorously depicted as a division of Walt Disney Company, on a massive sign out front.
So doesn't it also mean now that Disney owns The Simpsons?
It does.
I kind of remember that The Simpsons predicted this just a couple years ago.
Take a look at this. This was back in 1998. They had a sign that read 20th Century Fox, a division of Walt Disney. That was in 1998.
This isn't the only nod to Disney in The Simpsons. Mickey Mouse and Goofy rough up Homer in one instance, and another episode features a Disney-themed couch gag. Following the announcement of the Disney-Fox merger, executive producer James L. Brooks humorously sent a greeting from Homer and Bart to Mickey Mouse: Donald Trump presidency. On November 15, 2022, Donald Trump made a significant announcement. He would again be running for president in the 2024 election. This declaration stirred up various reactions, including one that returned to an eerie prediction made by The Simpsons in 2015. In an episode where the Simpson family ventures into the future, a scene features Homer Simpson floating by a sign that reads, Trump 2024. This episode aired long before Trump's actual presidency, adding a layer of intrigue to the show's history of foreseeing real-world events. The Simpsons had already demonstrated its clairvoyant tendencies, particularly in its portrayal of Trump's presidency. In a previous episode, the show depicted Trump leaving behind a dire financial situation, leading to a widespread budget crisis.
16 years ago, The Simpsons eerily predicted Donald Trump would be president.
As you know, we've inherited quite a budget crunch from President Trump.
This portrayal mirrored real-life concerns about the economic impact of Trump's time in office, adding weight to the show's ability to anticipate future scenarios. Siegfried and Roy tiger attack.
Siegfried and Roy are attacked by tigers, Season 5, Episode 10.
For those unfamiliar with the pre-millennium entertainment scene, Siegfried and Roy were a legendary duo who amazed audiences with their extravagant illusions and majestic tigers. They were a staple in Vegas for decades, a symbol of Sin City glitz. Remember that time The Simpsons made fun of them? In a 1993 episode, Springfield joins the gambling game with a new casino headlined by the flamboyant tiger-taming duo Gunter and Ernst. But their act takes a hilarious turn when their white tiger decides the spotlight belongs to someone else. Them. Well, get this. 10 years later, life imitated art in an unsettling way. During a performance at the Mirage, Roy was attacked by a tiger named Manticore. The big cat went from playful to predatory, latching onto Roy's sleeve and inflicting a severe bite that severed his spine. The reasons behind the attack remain unknown. Roy's partner blamed the trainers, while whispers went around about a cover-up by the hotel to protect their image. Whatever the cause, this incident in 2003 spelt the end for the iconic Siegfried and Roy show, which had captivated audiences for nearly 40 years. I Take Over one episode of The Simpsons paints a picture of a future where Mr. Burns, ever the cost cutter, replaces human workers at the Springfield nuclear power plant with robots. This highlights a genuine concern: AI's potential to automate jobs on a massive scale. The episode even hints at a 99% unemployment rate, raising a conversation about the social and economic implications of widespread job displacement by AI.
In a world where technology is advancing at an unprecedented pace, it seems the fear of AI taking over human jobs is at an all-time high. 82% of working professionals think that they might lose their job to AI.
But The Simpsons takes it a step further. In 1989, an episode showed the possibility of hyper-realistic AI with a scary side. Imagine creating robot replicas of teachers and scientists so advanced they can even get student loans. While this might seem like harmless fun in the cartoon world, it raises questions about AI's potential to become sophisticated enough to manipulate systems for its own gain. It also taps into our fear of AI encroaching upon uniquely human roles like teaching. Looking at the world of law enforcement, The Simpsons envisioned a future where robots handle police calls. While the episode portrays Brenda as calm, it opens the door to discussing AI in law enforcement. Should robots be patrolling our streets? The Simpsons allow us to consider the implications and potential for unforeseen consequences. The show also explores the idea of robots as companions. In one episode, a character creates a robotic version of his ex-wife, Marge. While companionship is a positive quality, the episode cleverly portrays these robotic companions lacking genuine emotions or kindness. The Shard in London. The Simpsons, notorious for their predictions, might have done it again. Many shows bring their characters to iconic locations, and London is no stranger to these cameos. One Trip by Lisa Simpson, however, holds a curious detail. A flash forward in the 1995 episode shows Lisa on a school trip to London, meeting a fellow student named Hugh Parkfield. Eagle-eyed fans spotted something interesting in the background. A skyscraper peeking over Tower Bridge. This building looks familiar to those acquainted with the real-life Shard, a landmark not built until 2009. Is this an accurate prediction, or just a random building in the background? We may never know for sure. The animators might not have intended such a specific detail. But for fans, it's a fun detail that adds another layer of intrigue to The Simpsons' ability to see into the future. World War II. Remember November 1987? The Simpsons were still fresh, barely in their second season. That's when they unleashed World War II, an episode that even today remains one of their most eerie. The episode plays out as dark satire. In a frenzy, Homer wakes the family with news of World War II erupting. Thankfully, within 18 seconds, everyone's safe in the bomb shelter.
Wake up, everybody! It's World War III! Quick, down to the fallout shelter. The bombs are dropping!
But then the truth hits. It was a false alarm, a cruel joke by Homer. You won't believe what happened next. Could this have been a glimpse into the future? Like other Simpsons predictions, some find it unsettling. Let's rest back on the fear factor. We all need a laugh now. World War China might sound like a future headline, but thankfully it hasn't happened yet. However, the reality is possible. According to Wikipedia, 5 major wars rage on today, from Myanmar's internal conflict to the ongoing battles in Ukraine and Sudan. Then there are the more minor but no less devastating conflicts. Colombia's violence continues, Somalia's civil war takes lives, communal clashes erupt in Nigeria, and Mexico's drug war leaves a pool of bloodshed. Experts argue that considering these numbers, the world is already at war. And with tensions between major powers like the US, Russia, China, and North Korea growing, are we standing on the edge of something more significant? World War II might have been a dark joke in 1987, but in today's world, it's a reminder of the fragile peace we live in. Is this the path to a full-blown world war, or just a conspiracy theory that went out of control? Colonizing Mars. In Season 27's The Martian Chronicles, Episode 16, The Simpsons win a spot on a pioneering program, a one-way trip to Mars. This would mark humanity's first Martian residency, a giant leap for humanity. The dream of becoming Mars pioneers takes a big turn for The Simpsons. After a tedious week surviving in a claustrophobic Martian habitat, they learn the shocking truth. It was all a big, elaborate lie. The shiny rocket they trained in? It's just a fancy facade never intended for actual space travel. But hold on. Despite the fake rocket, the ever-resourceful Marge and Lisa eventually reach Mars. The episode cleverly hints that their Martian adventure might become a reality, but not until 2051. Fast forward to real life, and Elon Musk, the visionary SpaceX CEO, has Mars firmly in his sights. His ambition to colonize the Red Planet and make it humanity's second home is no secret. Here's where things get interesting. In 2020, Musk announced plans to launch the first admittedly crewed mission to Mars by 2026. The Simpsons might have been a few decades off. Who knew time travel wasn't part of the package? But the core idea, a human mission to Mars, aligns perfectly with Musk's vision. While the 2026 target wasn't entirely met, Musk recently revealed that the dream could become reality within 3-4 years. Just try to think about booking a flight to Mars. The possibilities are mind-blowing. Colonizing another planet could be humanity's most monumental achievement. Perhaps by 2051, as The Simpsons predicted, Martian cities will spread across the red landscape. And on that glorious day, the writers can finally declare, with a triumphant point, "We told you so." Flying cars. Do you remember those flying cars from The Simpsons? Well, move over because an honest company called Samson Sky is making headlines with its Switchblade, the world's first flying sports car.
first announced, the Simpsons Sky Switchblade is officially off the ground. This street-legal three-wheeler converts to a 200 miles per hour airplane at the touch of a button.
Hold on a second, though. This isn't quite the Jetsons-style hovercraft we might have envisioned. It's more like a car with seriously cool retractable wings. This means it doubles as a plane, but not the kind that defies gravity. The promo video shows a sleek, Batmobile-like car transforming into a miniature aircraft, which is pretty impressive, but it raises a lot of questions. Will you need a pilot's license to take this bad boy car for a ride? How will we manage air traffic with these flying cars weaving in and out? Regulations are a whole other story. And let's be honest, widespread flying cars probably won't happen in 2024. Still, the existence of the Switchblade is exciting. It's a glimpse into a future where our vehicles might have a whole new dimension. The Simpsons might have gotten the flying car concept rolling decades ago, but companies like Simpsons Sky are taking it from cartoon to potential reality. The future of transportation might involve taking flight, but there are plenty of issues to iron out before it takes off for everyone. The female president. Is the United States prepared to elect a female president?
For a very brief period today, the nation had its first female president. Kamala Harris assumed the reins of power while President Biden was undergoing a colonoscopy.
The question arises as we consider the nation's readiness to place a woman in its highest office. Historically, women have demonstrated exceptional leadership in politics. Yet the male-dominated political arena has limited the number of women ascending to the corridors of power leading to the White House. Despite this, popular culture often sidesteps the complexities of political discourse. For instance, in the Simpsons episode Bart to the Future, Lisa Simpson becomes the first female president of the United States. In this storyline, she inherits a financially troubled nation due to the mismanagement of her predecessor, President Trump, and introduces a tax increase to stabilize the economy. With the 2024 elections on the horizon, some speculate whether The Simpsons might again foreshadow actual political events. Many believe the show's prediction partially came true with Kamala Harris serving as the first female vice president. But the question remains, are we on the verge of seeing a woman take the Oval Office? Only time will tell. Thank you for staying with us. Which of these predictions do you find most unsettling? Share your opinions with us in the comments section. If you enjoyed the video, like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Also, click the following video on your screen and you will enjoy it.